Hey everyone, in this video we're going to learn about the identity operators in Python. The identity operators, which are is and is not, do not compare the values of the objects. Instead, they compare the memory locations or identities of the objects. Okay, so let's have a look at example number one. So here I'm just assigning this string to a variable called IP1 and same string to a variable called IP2, and I'm assigning this variable to IP3. And I'm using the identity operators to basically compare the memory locations of IP1 and IP2, the memory locations of IP1 and IP3, and basically saying here that IP1 and IP2 should not be the same. And here I'm just printing the memory locations of all the variables. Okay, so let me go ahead and run this. Okay, so here true. So this is basically this. So IP1 and IP2 are the same. And it's the same because they have the same memory locations, as we can see here. And IP1 and IP3 is the same also, true. In here, IP1 is not IP2 because it's false because they have the same memory locations as we already discussed. And here, yeah, this is just I'm just printing the memory locations of all the variables. Okay, let's look at example number two. Let me just uncomment this line of code and I mean comment out this line of code and uncomment this line of code. Okay, so earlier we are using string, and in the example number two, we are using a list. So I'm assigning this list into a variable called devices1, the same list to a variable called devices2, and I'm assigning this devices1 into a variable called devices3. And I'm using the same identity operators. So here I'm using is, here is, and here in this line is not, and I'm printing all the memory locations of the variable. Okay, so let me go ahead and run this. Okay, so we see that this one is false. The reason is because devices one, this is its memory location, and devices two, this is its memory location. So they have different memory locations. That's why we get back false for this line. And here we see that devices one has this memory location, and device 3 has this memory location. So they have the same memory locations. That's why we get back true. In here, this is true because devices 1 and devices 2 have different memory locations. Okay, and here I'm just printing or using and I'm just using the ID function to basically print the memory locations of all the variables. Okay, so that's all I wanted to cover in this video. So again, the identity operators, which are is and is not, do not compare the values of the objects. Instead, they compare the memory locations or identities of the objects. Okay, so hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.